What's up, everybody? This is Phil Rogacki.
And I'm Jared Abergina.
You're listening to Two Tree Guys Podcast.
All right, so thanks for being here with us. This is co-host Eric Palacios on Two Tree Guys Podcast, and we're here with some very special guests today. Good friends, good family, the Hogs.
Yep. The Texas, North Carolina Hoggards here.
There you go. So give us a brief introduction of your name and spell it out if you can, so we can get it for the video and art and stuff.
All right. I'm Brandon Hoggard. Brandon, Hoggard, certified arborist. Been doing this for, it's maybe 10 years, but 5 years, seriously, the right way, started out in Texas. After the oil field started declining in 2008. And then, by 2012, there were no jobs in the oil field. And,
Nice. So we'll get into it here in a little bit. And who else do we have with us? Our very awesome guest.
Yeah, I'm Hunter Hoggard, his son. I've been climbing for only about a year.
Yeah. Second generation climber now, huh?
he's got the bug, man.
Oh man, that's awesome.
He's got it bad.
I don't know if we might have had a father and son team. I'll double check with our production team if we've had a father and son team, because I don't think we have, but this is something we want to get going and we want to see more of, because there's so many second, third generation arborists, and I'm like you, I'm not second generation or anything like that. Like I'm the motherfucker that started it,
Yeah.
in my family, but
Hefty.
yeah, but it's very cool to see this, especially because I know you guys personally, and it's you're like family to me, right?
Yeah.
And this kid is too, and so tell us a little bit about how you started in the tree game. You said you're before this you were working in the oil fields in Texas. Are you originally from Texas, like born and raised in Texas?
Born and raised in Texas. Lived there till I was 35 years old. We moved to North Carolina. And literally put down roots here. We got two little ones that are North Carolinians, and just love it. I never thought that I would call any other place home. I was reluctant.
So how did it happen where you were like, oh, I was doing the oil fields, and then like there was kind of like a boom for a while, and then it fucking crashed, right? I mean, I was down there too. I was doing.
It was bad, and
Everybody used to get paid big though in the oil field, man. Like,
I go to college. I didn't know where I was going to go get that type of money, and my mom hired a tree contractor to come trim a Bradford pear for her in Grapevine, Texas, and couldn't believe it got charged. And it looked really cool, even though it was a Bradford, at the time. Turns out, 7 years later, it's sell them. But yeah, I thought it was cool. I saw the guy making money doing it,
So you were like, I'm getting into the tree business.
Yeah, I wasn't trying.
So how was that first job, or how did you go about like finding the first job? Did you go out and like try to work for someone?
No, I tried to show myself like how to do it.
You're like, fuck it, YouTube. Is that what you did?
Straight up. But then I was blessed to get to meet some of those people, because at the time, Dakota Lucas, better known as Treesus, lived.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he lived in South Carolina, and so I literally like messaged him on social media one day, and I was like, "What the fuck, dude? Like, you like to play guitar too?" Like, that was my end, I really wanted him to teach me how to climb and do tree work, but I said, "Man, come over and play guitar." And he comes over. We're immediate, like you and me. Like the day we met, we were best friends.
Yeah.
And fucking so. Yeah, Dakota had a lot to do with my progression.
Yeah.
He, put me in situations that I wasn't ready for yet.
Yeah, for sure.
And it got me out of my comfort zone in that first year, in that very first year. So
yeah,
just huge blessing.
And it's almost crazy that you like ran into him, first of all, because believe it or not, or you know, but he's that type of guy that he's like, fuck yeah, come on, you know, like you want to do trees? All right, boy, come on out and do some trees. So is that how it was? Like when you called him up, and then what happened? Like,
well, I mean, that was like a genuine friendship because of music and everything. Because we were jamming on guitars and shit together before we climbed together, and so did that, and then they had a trip. He was working for Oak Services at the time out of Aiken, South Carolina, and they had a contract, like huge, like $100,000 residential job in Connecticut. And so I went up to Connecticut, and that's where I took my teeth. Anyway, yeah, they just turned me loose. I come back from Connecticut with, you know, knowing how to negative rig, big logs, and shit that I should not have been doing in my first year, you know, out. And so,
but back in the day, it was still a little bit more of that. Like there was still a little bit of like learn on the fly, learn on the job. You know, like it was that, you know.
yes,
There wasn't as much of this that we have now. Like all these guys, all these trainers, you know, everything we have now. Like you can go to any of these things and really learn, right,
without being like in the fire while you're doing it.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like. It felt like,
but there was also like, all of that has taken an investment and everything. And me and you probably at that time were just like brokies, right? Like we had no fucking money to our name. Like it was like literally the money that we had in our pockets, you know? And it's like,
yeah, nothing in the bank.
Yeah. You're like, fuck it. Like, hey, you're borrowing money, like to get a chainsaw or to do this or to rent a trailer or whatever, you know?
Borrowing chainsaws.
Yeah. But it's way cool, and you've been blessed, right? That now, and so how did you get to North Carolina? How did you get out here? Like you just moved up here and like you said, let me get it.
Yeah. We just
you met your girl.
Yeah.
So we were already with her.
Yeah, my wife and I decided that we wanted to move somewhere different. You know, she's from Moscow, Russia, and so she basically nudged me and was like, "Hey, like." I can move to a different country. You can move out of Texas, you know?
Yeah, come on.
So it was a challenge.
You're like, fuck no, I'm Texan.
Yeah, you know how we are. Yeah,
I know how we are. No, yeah,
it was a challenge, but best decision I ever made. Man, Carolina's been amazing to me. Like, you know, stepping out, you know, of comfort. Anybody who's like thinking that maybe they are stagnant where they're at, I would definitely recommend possibly stepping out of your comfort. So, you know, you don't have to move to the other side of the world.
So if you want to say who is a mentor for you, you want to say like who?
So,
but
I mean, like, no, I've literally messaged you at like 9 o'clock at night, you know, like, hey, what was that little like don't drop start your 661 trick you were showing me?
Yeah.
And he's like, this man here's like in his the hotel room, like, let me go find a big saw and I'll show you. And he sends me like a video, you know. So like people, just the whole industry is so this where it's at right now, but man, like it's a great time.
There has always been a lot of people that come out and are willing to help or to just be kind of a mentor, whether it be good or bad mentor or whatever, you know, like,
yeah, there's a lot of knowledge going around.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
But there has to be someone that you look up to even, or like back then or now, someone that really, you know, that really pushed you through that next level, or that really gave you a chance, or that you say, this guy was definitely fundamental. I appreciate you saying like, I had a part in that and other people like that, but there, who was that other person that maybe you spend more time with that you learn more from? Like, who was that person that you can think of? We want to give someone a big shout out.
I made Dakota.
Teresa's.
Yeah, Teresa's, man.
That's what you put down. So I was trying.
Yeah. But I mean, looking back, I mean, I'd be lying if I said there's another guy by the name of Justin Joy. Oh no, he might not be here today. He's from South Carolina, North Carolina. He, you know, was one of the ones that was like, Hoggard, you can do this. Like, you know, hey, if my knee stopped shaking, maybe, you know. And so, just put me out of my comfort zone. Those two guys from early on.
I see you take Big Wood with Dakota back in the day when all that progression was happening, and there's still those videos still pop up.
When I was doing it, man. I mean,
those pictures still pop up actually, on Facebook. I've seen them, you like reshare those to
moving the saw, like just movements. Looking back, that's like 5 years ago. Movements that I wouldn't make today. You know what I mean?
Wow. So what would be your tip from the top of the words of wisdom that you can share to help others elevate the standard in the industry? What's that you want to share with the industry?
Stay humble. Stay learning. One foot in front of the other. You get in a tree or you get on a job where there's multiple trees and you don't see the end in sight. Don't worry about that. What's your next movement? You got to focus on your next movement, and sure, you got to look ahead and make sure that you're going to be, in a good position when it's time to execute. But you've got to be deliberate. It's not the amount of time it takes for something to go really wrong is.
Yeah.
No time at all.
Yeah.
1 minute we're all happy, go lucky, and everything's going good, and next minute your life's changed, So
yeah,
just stay deliberate, with every movement, not just for climbers, everybody.
Yeah.
Follow the rules. You are the reason I don't one-hand a chainsaw. I was having the talk. It was a few years ago. You were out at our house, and we were just cutting up, having some beers, whatever. And I made a remark about, a top-handled chainsaw being made to one hand. And this man right here said, well, if you're one-handing your chainsaw, it's out of laziness, just being honest. And it's probably a cut that you should be making with your handsaw. And I've shared that with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And can we one-hand a chainsaw? I mean, this man here, I mean, he's smaller than me, but he's strong. He's strong enough to do it, But why? So stuff like that sticking in my head. I could go all day long with words.
Yeah, follow the rules. Stay humble. You said
Follow the rule.
Respect the pauses, which is follow the rules and kind of. But a main one that you said was like enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride. Oh yeah,
enjoy the ride.
Yeah. And don't get overwhelmed. And I'll just keep on enjoying it.
We came into this because we loved it. We enjoyed it. I think you tend to lose a little bit of that sometimes as you've been doing it day in, day out, right? And I've stepped back right now. Like I have less responsibilities this year doing classes and presenting up there. And I'm so happy to see guys that I actually train up there doing it now, right? But I can't tell you how awesome it was to not. I did a presentation yesterday. I was out at Cinnebogan. We took people out to Cinnebogan. And we gave them a tour of the facility and all of that. So I got to do that. So I've got my fix. I got it out of the way. I still did something, but I'm not super committed this year where I just had to do that. Now I can sit here. We can do the podcast. We can chill out, do all the good stuff. So yeah, enjoy the ride, right? Because
things like this,
there's lows, there's highs.
And we have this every year, like short of COVID happening, we got this. That happens every year, and I look forward to this particular event more than any of them, even more than the comps.
Yeah,
just because this is everybody, and it's a reset. It's always a good reset.
Absolutely,
you just got your ass kicked all summer, and then every fall
you come and see friends and you hang out and then all that good stuff. Yeah. And listen, like we're not done with you, but what I do want is since we have the father-son duel, father-son team. I want to hit it off with Hunter and help me with the interview with Hunter. But so Hunter, tell us a little bit about yourself. Again, give us your name, spell it out, and then just tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into the industry.
Well, I'm Hunter Hoggard, Hoggard, and I started climbing when I got out of high school because he did it.
That's so crazy now that we can talk to someone that's like, I just got out of high school and I've been climbing ever since I got out of high school. Like all I knew was like old ass dudes when I was into climbing. We didn't have this many young people, but so you got out of high school. You didn't like straight right out of high school and you went and hit it off?
Yeah, he found Tim Chavez and had me go work for him, and I've been working for him since.
Did you do any other jobs before you did?
Yeah, I did a little bit of construction for a few months, and then I was tired of it, and I wanted to go do what he's doing.
What else did you do? Just construction?
Yeah,
Yeah.
construction.
So
He did line clearance, bro.
Oh yeah.
I loved it.
I did about 6 months of.
wait, what?
I couldn't talk about it.
Wait, what?
I did about 6 months on a line clearance crew. I really didn't like it that much, but I mean, I thought I was doing trick.
So I couldn't get him to quit.
So you did that before construction or right after?
No, right after,
Okay.
right before I started working for Tim. And then,
So you were doing construction and then you got into line clearance first and then went to Tim.
yeah.
Okay. So
I was trying to.
how did you get into line clearance and what company was it for? Was it in Texas or was it
Yeah,
up here?
it was in Texas.
Okay, so you're probably only working for like Asplin, right, or
What?
Hoy Tree Service.
It was a local company called Harton in Fort Worth.
Okay,
And
you ever heard of them? Okay,
Yeah, I was thinking about I was gonna get my climbing start over there. Then he talked me out of it. He
so
talked.
why'd you talk him out of it?
Well, because I knew Tim and
Oh, Tim already needed someone and was like trying to get someone or what?
I had been talking to Tim for like a year prior to that, and he was
You're like, listen, Under's gonna be ready.
he was like, when he turns 18, send him my way."
He turns 18. Send me that boy. I got a spot.
And he did. He hired him immediately. And the thing about going to work for Tim, Hunter was in the tree, but then
like a month.
well, he came with.
Did you think about doing something outside of high school? Like, were you already were you gonna be like something else, or did you have it in your head like, oh, I want to do this with my career? Like,
I mean, I had a few ideas, but I felt like I was gonna end up climbing.
really,
Yeah.
like you're already like you're like, fuck, I got to do what my dad does.
Yeah, because I know you can make good money doing it, and it's fun. So
Yeah.
I
So
figured.
you already had like a little bit of a vision of what was like going on, or like what it could be, or something like that.
Yeah. That was kind of the plan, but I wanted to explore other things, and then I was like, no, fuck it. Well, I'm gonna start climbing.
And you're like, I'm gonna go find a job with the line clearance company.
Yeah.
So you just went down and like you went to their office or what?
Well, no, it was by accident. I applied on Indeed, and it was a tree service, and
I'm like, fuck, they call me back.
well, no,
He had poison ivy like for.
I didn't even know. I didn't even know it was line clearance until I got there. I thought it was residential.
Oh man.
I pulled
They're
up.
like, wait, what?
It took me a while.
You mean you're gonna pay me $7 to climb around the power lines?
Yeah.
What did you get paid when you got hired on? Do you remember?
Like $12. It was bad.
That's actually not bad. Like for Texas and for being like a year ago.
Yeah.
And for like you, I mean, were you a groundsman or you
Yeah.
you right automatically get thrown into a bucket or
No, I
something
was
like
a
that?
ground guy.
Yeah. Like $12, I don't feel sorry for you. Like you're making all right money for an 18-year-old coming right out of high school in Texas, right? Like I mean, I don't know if you had bills or anything like that, but $12 get you through.
Yeah.
You know, I lived on $7 working for line clearance, so I'm sure you did all right.
Yeah, coming up in the 90s.
Yeah. So you get into line clearance, you work for it a little bit, and then your dad told you about Tim.
Yeah, he told me about Tim, so I just gave him
He's like, hey, Chavez is hiring someone.
yeah. And then I gave him my 2 weeks, and then just went to work for him after that.
Nice. So you get there, you start doing the same thing, right? Like grounds hand work, stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then you got into a tree right away. You got help,
Yeah.
you got training.
Yeah, he started putting me in trees pretty quickly, and then ever since then,
You're lucky because that
So-
guy, I mean, those guys, fuck, they've been in the climbing scene forever. You know, they help Chris put on, Naom or whatever and all that other stuff. So that's awesome, man. Like,
yeah, it's been nice.
I'm
working.
glad you had that opportunity and were able to do it safe because, I mean, were you ever like scared that like, you're like, oh, my boy's going to be doing unsafe shit? Like, how did you deal with that back in the day? You were like, at least he's going to get trained or something like that, right?
Yeah.
What was it?
I mean, because I spent a lot of time deciding where I was gonna put him. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is my boy. I'm not gonna
Listen, I have a
I was
14-year-old.
terrified that he was working for the Lion Flags company. I was terrified.
You're more scared of that.
Oh yeah, I had to get him out of there, and I would call him, and I was like, "Hey man, you ready?" Like, Chavez is ready for you to call him. And he's like, yeah, I'll call him.
He's like, I gotta go to work tomorrow, Dad.
He's like, I'm too tired to call him. And so finally he did. And he met him at the tree climbing competition at Treepalooza. Yeah, Treepalooza last year, or earlier this year, I guess. Last year, at the end of last year.
Yeah.
He met Chavez, and then literally like 2 weeks later, he was about to go work for him.
Nice.
And yeah, he hit the ground running. You know, he had all of his gear on the very first day, or it's actually all of my old gear.
Yeah.
On the very first day of work. So, you know,
That's awesome. So you're obviously your dad is a mentor, right? Like
Yeah.
we're not gonna give him the whole glory, right? Like obviously your dad's a mentor, but who's that one person that you see? Maybe you see him now still as a mentor. Maybe he was when you got started. Maybe he was the first guy that gave you the opportunity at the line clearance. Like I don't know. But who is that person that you can say, man, you know what? Like this guy's a mentor. He showed me, you know, the ropes, stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, besides him, there's a guy at my work named Carlos. He's not really in the competition scene.
Yeah. I know Carlos. I've talked to Chavez.
Oh.
You know, I know him a little bit, but
Yeah, Carlos has taught me a lot. He's pretty much the main person who's taught me how to climb so far.
yeah.
Hoggard.
Where
Not Carlos, what's his name? This little guy.
the Lucci.
Yeah,
No,
not him. He works for Tim.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could learn from the Luch too.
Yeah. No. He's cool. Okay, big shout out to Luch, C. Garcia. Yeah. Where's Carlos from? Do you know? Like, where's like his hometown or anything like that?
He's
from
He's from
Probably.
Houston, but he lives out in Fort Worth right now.
Okay, that's what's up. There's so many people like that, man. They're like behind the scenes that they don't fucking go to no comp. They don't do none of that bullshit. You know, they just
go Facebook.
do their fucking day on Facebook. Fuck.
We don't got time for that shit.
No one got time for that shit. You know, I don't know how we make time for it, but
Keyboard warriors.
but that's awesome, man. I'm glad that you have someone like that that's been able to teach you, besides the people that, you know, care for you obviously and they want you to be safe, but that there's someone that there's leading you through all of that. So what would you say your tip from the top of the words of wisdom would be, you know? Well,
I would just say learn as much as you can.
yeah.
Just keep learning.
When you went to high school, like what do you feel you came out with? What do you feel like you learned in high school, like when you came out?
I mean, I kind of messed around in high school. I didn't learn too much from it. So that was kind of what pushed me into tree work too, because I messed around a lot in high school and I felt like college wasn't much of an option. But I'd much rather go down this path than.
Yeah, some of us, I'm the same way. I can totally relate. I was a little bit of a fuck up. You know, I'm not saying that you were. I was. I got in trouble. I did stupid shit, you know, and coming out, I was like, you know what? Like, I don't feel like I did good in high school. I didn't do bad, but it was like boring for me, you know? Like there was nothing of my interest. And when I started learning about trees and the way they worked, and to know that I could climb for money and like make a difference in our like world, right? Like, you know, people talk about global warming and shit, but no one does shit about it, right? We take care of trees that actually help whatever the fuck that conspiracy is, right? But I feel like you're there too. I feel like you found what has made you happy and has given you a purpose in life to say, this might help me feed my kids and my wife, like it has for us, right? Like it has for you. And it's a very beautiful profession, you know, and it's like an art, you know, respectable. It's like construction. It's fucking like hands-on work, right? And then the other side of that, it's an art, right? When you climb a tree, like, listen, I'm not fucking trying to go faster than you. Like, competitions were always funny to me. Like, I love competitions. I judge competitions. I've competed before, but for me, there is no sense of me like trying to beat you and being fast. It's cool that you're better than me, but for me, it was always about me climbing, being able to give back to nature and get paid for it, and then to sit up there and take in the view and be like, only birds sit up here, you know?
That's the last time anybody's ever going to get this.
This is the last time anyone's going to get this view, because I might be removing the tree, or maybe you're making it pretty or something like that. And that was a really good sense of being for me. You know, I don't know if it is for you, but but I hope you take that. You know, if I could give you any advice, because I feel like an old man. I'm like, back in my day, you know, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I could give you anything, you know, because you're a younger man, and I feel responsibility to say something that could help you to make your life
Get in
better.
his ear, man. Stay in his ear. I'll stay in his ear.
It'd be to, you know, be honorable in what you do, have integrity in the work that you do. Like you said yourself, learn as much as you can, you know, as quick as you can, as as broad of subjects as you can, you know, and we do all right for ourselves. I mean, I think you could do way better than us because you started way earlier than us, you know.
I'm so jealous of this kid.
I
tell him all the time. I'm so jealous. And wish if I could have skipped the oil, I loved the oil field. And there was a point where I had the bug for, because I'm all or nothing at anything I do. I was a point where I had the bug for the oil field, like I've got the bug for tree work. And I never thought I would do anything else.
Right.
You know, and then,
well, you never know. Like, you might become a fucking lawyer tomorrow and you're like, fuck tree work. Like, I'm making a lot of money, right? Like, you should never leave that option open, closed also, you know, because you always want to have that. But I felt the same way with the oil field, you know, and you almost need, what happens is that you need that education, that roughnecking, so that you can make it in the fucking tree world. Because if you don't have like something like you did, like construction, like, fuck, that prepares you for tree work, right?
yeah, if you would have never done that construction, like you wouldn't have anything to compare it to.
No,
like now you can look back and be like, man, at least I don't have to have fucking sheetrock in my.
yeah, or like fucking like,
I was sniffing sheetrock.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you know, things like that you end up appreciating when you do more, you ends up being better. But well, it's a great time, awesome time to be out here with you guys. I'm so fortunate to have brothers like you, family like you on the show. There's everyone that comes on here is a friend, you know, but it's so awesome to have you guys that are family up here doing the show, because it's more personal. It's awesome, and everybody's a cool guest that comes out here. We only pick cool guests. Like, I handpick everyone that comes here. We let people sign in, and like you were like, all right, we'll call you, you know. That's why when I saw you signing up, I was like, all right, I gotta, Phil, are you gonna do it, or can I jump in? He's like, go ahead and take over, let's do it. So I was like, oh, awesome. I walked up here at the right time. Now I seem to have that.
Haven't seen you since New Braunfels, and then like just walked up at the perfect time.
Yeah,
it's all about timing.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Well, great time being out here with you guys. Check out the podcast. We'll have this on there coming up, being uploaded at sometime soon. So everybody else, stay tuned to Tree Guys Podcast. We'll be back. Eric Palacios, co-host here, signing out. We're going to have someone else come up here in a little bit, so stay tuned. Guys, thanks again. All right.